How many days do you think you surf in a year? We sat down with our friend Richard Prause of Grasshopper Surfboards, who spent all of 2023 documenting his time in the water. Boards ridden, wave types, all the data. As we start the new year, we thought this was an interesting topic to uncover. We also chat about other highlights in Richard's life, like bucket list surf destinations and what he has going on right now. We want to thank our sponsors, Marshwear Clothing, Mex One Coastal Cantina, and McKevlin Surf Shop. Thanks for supporting the community and the podcast.
Marshwear. Clothing inspired by the need for versatility and style. Those wave chasing, flats pulling, field loving, campfire gatherers. For the doers, adventurers, and unconventional. For those who live by the highs and lows of the tides. For those in pursuit of good times.
Mex One Coastal Cantina, our spot for incredible tacos and margaritas. It truly is the perfect surf-inspired beach bar. They're locally owned and always in support of the surf community. Coming in for lunch or dinner with friends, dropping in for one of their best Mexicali brunches in town, they always have surf videos on. Laid-back atmosphere, fresh flavors of the Baja Peninsula, and always in pursuit of the endless summer. So recently, you surfed 100 days?
Yeah, it actually came out 103.
103, that's what I was wondering. And I feel like it's an interesting thought just because it made me wonder how many days I surfed in the year.
Yeah.
So is that something that you started from like January 1?
January 1 last year, yeah. Every year, New Year's Eve comes. What's your New Year's resolution going to be? My wife's always trying to do something real serious. And pretty much every year I tell her, I just want to surf more this year. That's my goal. And she, we laugh it off. Okay, real funny. But so I actually decided to do I guess something measurable to actually go through with it. The main goal wasn't the number of days, it was just to keep track of it. And I figured keeping track of it, kind of like a journaling type thing, keeping track of it would give me motivation to get out there more often. I figured that I probably usually do between 50 and 80 days, maybe. And so, a little bit of a stretch goal to try and get me out there on days I normally wouldn't go. And that's kind of, what started it.
Did it feel like a better year because you had more time in the water?
It shifted my focus a little bit. So I think it was good in some ways and not as good in others. So it was really good in when we have periods where we're not surfing a lot and you just feel really down. It's like, I really want to surf. I'm not surfing enough. There's no waves. You almost have a record to look back and be like, oh, I actually have surfed a good amount. And where am I on target for this goal? And instead of looking for a swell upcoming that's going to be head high and barreling to get you excited, I'm looking forward to a swell that, maybe it won't be that, but it's going to be waist high and glassy. All right, well, that'll give me 1 or 2 days that I can go out and, log a day and have some fun. And it, won't take up my whole day. I might not have to take the day off work to go out there, but, it kind of gives you something to look for in a different frame of view, which is cool. Then on the flip side, I feel like sometimes on really good days, I would just go out and catch a few waves and be like, okay, I got my day, let's go. I'm going to go do something else now.
Yeah. I guess I was just wondering, when you got to like 50 days, were you halfway through the year?
No,
No.
I was behind the entire year.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you had to put in some extra time.
Well, I mean, when do you start? January and February. I mean, how often do you guys think you surf in January and February?
It's rough.
We actually got lucky last year. We did 22
That's right.
days.
You guys were in Puerto Rico, but I was here, so it was like 5 days, right?
Yeah.
I surfed, I think it was maybe 6 in January and 4 in February. And I'm like, all right, good. Well, I'm behind, but at least I got some days. I think I can think of some winters where I might not surf for all of February or all of January or something.
It also gets dark at 4:30.
Yeah, getting off work, getting out there, it's cold, it doesn't look good. Days you would go out in the summer, you're not going out, so, it is harder in the winter. So, you start off behind. The spring was spring you surf a lot, and then summer, ironically enough for me, I don't surf that much in the
Mm,
summer. I'm just doing other things, fishing or I don't know, just the I don't enjoy the summer crowds or the summer waves. They're weak and,
You probably
um
log in trip days though in the summer.
I did 2 trips in the spring and 1 in the fall. No, so I didn't really have any
Yeah.
summer trips.
Okay.
So, yeah, the summer was low, and then, of course, you're just banking on the fall, right? I'm gonna go
yeah.
15 days in August, 15 days in September, 15 days in October, and it kinda worked out that way, but I was still behind going into December. But our December this year was fantastic.
Yeah.
I surfed as much in December as almost any other month.
Yeah, you would have been screwed if we didn't have that many waves.
Well, I had 10 days left to do in December, and I didn't know if it was gonna happen. But yeah, I overshot it in December. It was
Yeah.
good.
I have some data then. So how out of you did 102 days?
103.
103.
Yeah.
How many of those days were on a longboard, do you think?
I did section it out per board. I
Oh,
grouped
cool.
some stuff.
Okay.
I don't have it with me, but it was around in between 15 and 20
On the longboard?
on the 10-foot board.
Okay.
But that being said, I rode that board on actually some really good days,
Mhm.
but I just took it to places that you needed a longboard to get to either to paddle or the waves had flat spots in them or something. So those weren't necessarily small days. But that board did definitely give me probably a dozen days that if I didn't have a board like that, it wasn't happening.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wonder for all the longboarders if you are just like a longboard fanatic, if you could easily hit 200 days a year.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too, maybe.
I mean, you can surf every day in the summer.
Right.
Like I said, I didn't surf but 15 or 20 days through the whole summer. So
Yeah, that's
a lot of
super.
guys are doing that each month in the summer,
Yeah.
especially if you live out at the beach.
What
Um,
about so what was the board then that gave you most days?
You guys can probably guess.
Yeah, just a 20.
Yeah.
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 The candy cane had the
Nice.
most days. Yeah,
Do you
for
know
sure.
roughly how many that was?
Around a little over 30, maybe
Okay.
30 or 35 on the candy cane. So there's more days on each board than days total because some days
Oh,
I
I
ride
see.
more than
I
one
see it.
board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So candy
that's
cane was number one. What was surprising that came in second was like I kind of grouped 2 boards. I have a 6-8 egg, then I made a new 6-6 egg. So that one kind of replaced it. So I grouped those 2 together. It's kind of the same board. And that one was probably the one I used the second most.
yeah. And then also like a 6-hour session day, you feel like it counts more, but it's just
One day.
one day.
Yeah.
So you might think you've been surfing a bunch, but
Yeah. So I mean, probably the least amount was probably like 10 minutes, 3 waves. I mean, I made the mark of it had to catch 3 waves. I think that only happened once. I had
yeah.
quite a few days that were maybe just 5 waves. I go, all right, I'm going to get 3 waves. I go out. Oh, let me get a couple more, but pretty short sessions. Those were the days of just, okay, I've got some time. The waves aren't good, but they are rideable. I'll go get a day.
Yeah. I saw you running out there and it was dead low tide. It was a fun day, but then you stubbed your toes, bleeding, and I was like, dang, he's really going for it.
Yeah.
And then
That was a good day.
yeah.
I was pretty mad that my toe was all busted up.
That was right before you paddled out.
Yeah.
Mm,
Happens.
yeah.
I was a little too excited. It happened to me in the Outer Banks this year too. It was the other toe, and it had just healed. And then when I saw you that day, it was the other toe that happened.
I guess any other fun data from that?
How many tube days do you think there were on Folly?
Tube days on Folly. I don't know. I did ride my 6-3 step up maybe half a dozen times, so that was cool. And I
Yeah.
did ride my 6-0 shortboard way more than I thought I would. That one was almost as much as the egg.
Nice.
You can kind of look at that and be like, oh, those were pretty good days.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, I think we should, if we kind of put it in there, we should get people to, if they have the time, if they could like figure out a way to total. I wonder who got the most days for 2023 in Charleston.
Yeah.
I can make some guesses right now who that person would be.
Probably somebody you don't even know.
That's
who just
what-
lives at the beach and
Yeah.
just surfs every day.
Yeah, there could be someone who 365'd it and we don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh, February, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was talking with Damaris about it, and she says that she does it like that's just part of her whole surfing experience. That she likes to log it and journal it.
Yeah.
And I think she was telling me she went for 180 days one year, so it was basically half the year.
Wow. Yeah.
That takes those extra 80 days would take a lot because especially if you're surfing around here mostly, because those extra 80 days are going to be in not very good conditions.
Yeah.
I mean,
you saw 100.
I didn't grovel that much. I was looking through all of it, and most of the days were, waist to chest high, just kind
That's
of
encouraging.
just kind of a normal fun day around here. I think I did 60 something days at the washout, probably 20 days traveling, Florida or getting on a plane somewhere in North Carolina. And then probably 20 days around here, either, at the pier or the mid streets or, elsewhere, taking the boat out or going out to the inlets or something.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that you tracked a lot more than just the days.
Yeah, I would put in, okay, I surfed today, where I surfed, what board I rode, and just, a quick thing about the conditions, size would be like waist high and either glassy or choppy kind of thing.
Huh. Yeah.
Do you think your fish is the best board for folly? Not like your fish, but that design? Or do you think like what would be
for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, not for everyone. For me.
So for 2024, will you try to up the days, keep it the same, or just not even do the game?
No game, not this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I had fun with it, but I wasn't really motivated to do it. I may do something.
Is it because you're so behind right now?
No, it's 4 days in. Or
no, my one New Year's resolution was just to take my wife on a date one day a month at least. So
yeah,
that's a pretty low goal. That should already be happening anyways. But
yeah,
with 3 kids and surfing 100 days, you don't get as many dates in. So that's my goal this year.
Nice. That's a good one. That's a good turn.
Yeah.
From last year. That's awesome.
I think I'm motivated to. I think I'm gonna log it this year.
It was fun.
I think it'll be fun.
I enjoyed it.
I think last year I bet I probably hit about 150.
It definitely. I want to say it probably put me out there. I want to say at least 20 days I wouldn't have already gone, and probably 15 of those days I was really glad that I went. So that's a fairly positive impact on your year. An extra 15 days in the water that you wouldn't have gone. That got some extra motivation to get out there. There were some days that I went out and was, all right, I got my day. I wish I would have been doing something else, but usually not.
Yeah. Dang, you can do those on any day though.
But I mean, 100.
Is surfing behind the boat count?
No, that's separate. I think I got about a dozen days behind the boat. I didn't include that, but 100 is not that many. If you total, there's 52 weeks in the year, so you're basically weekend warrior status. You just go Saturday and Sunday every week. That's whatever 104 days. So I'm basically championing a weekend warrior lifestyle.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
But around here, it's that's a decent goal, I feel like.
Yeah, because I was just thinking like the normal California dude.
Where you surf every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you only went 100 days, you're kind of a Barney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this conversation is really specific.
Yeah.
You can't travel outside the East Coast, probably.
No. And maybe even outside of South Carolina.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty low for Florida too, even.
Yeah. Yes. Certain parts for sure.
It'd be fun if someone from Jacksonville or New Smyrna would be a lot, but from somewhere if they could chime in. I'd just be curious to see how much more surf they're getting down there.
Yeah.
Wrightsville too, if you're listening.
Winter on the East Coast, any plans?
I don't for this. No, I don't have any plans.
Just a big birthday party.
Yeah. Next weekend, party, burn up some trees, eat some oysters, shoot fireworks.
Nice.
Have fun.
Yeah. Is that a time that you try to get waves anywhere though? Or you just
Sometimes I don't really have a specific routine on trips other than going up to the Outer Banks with that group of guys in the fall. That's been kind of the only consistent one that I've done.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a goal of yours to catch some pretty big waves somewhere warm.
Somewhere warm. I mean, it's always a goal, right?
Yeah. Do you have a
Um,
board for that?
I have a few. Oh, are you talking about what Kellen and I were trying to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I have the 710 big paddle board. Kellen and I thought we were gonna maybe go to Tres Palmes. Not a huge swell, but a approachable swell.
I was in Puerto Rico last week in Kellen. There's like a big
Uh-huh.
report coming
Have you
for
guys
this
ever
week.
surfed out there?
No.
No.
No, I caught one wave out there one time. I was surfing, Marias, and it was a heavy sweep day. I just went through
Yeah.
Dogmans and all those, and
Oh, you just drifted down
I just
there.
kept catching
Oh.
waves, and eventually I got close and was out there and got cleaned up by some wave down there, and then caught a wave in. I was on a 510, so
Oh,
It's not going to work.
I mean,
Yeah.
but it was kind of barely starting to break. But it's still pretty big out there, even when it's barely starting to break.
yeah. No, I just want to go with someone that knows where to paddle out and have the right board.
I want people to think like I want to be on a massive board.
Yeah, I think you just take out a massive board, you paddle from, the ocean is calm right next to
the
there.
channel.
You just paddle out there and sit really wide and
Just inch into it.
just watch, and hopefully one comes over there, and if not, eventually you inch over close enough to catch something
Yeah.
and hopefully not get cleaned up.
Yeah.
You're not going to be paddling up the point with Whitewater Willie.
Yeah. One board I wanted to talk about is the tube shooter board I have from you.
Uh-huh.
And just a little bit about that design, because I never had a board made for just barrels or something. I would just ride a short board.
Yeah.
And the one I have from you is only a 6'1". It's not even, I kind of want even a 6'3",
Yeah.
but I love it.
Yeah.
And I didn't
Awesome.
know that until I've got some good tubes on it.
Yeah.
And it really does make a huge difference though.
Yeah.
I think it's the tail really is when I can feel it of
Yeah.
like making a critical drop in.
Yeah.
Is that board something that you just worked on over time?
Yeah, that was just an evolution of a board that I've worked on for a long time. So I was making my first ones I was doing for myself were really short, like 5'8", 5'9", and then I was riding a 5'10" for a long time. And at first they were just kind of little eggy boards to just be like an all around board. That you could ride chest high waves, just ripping around, just a fun little eggy board. And I don't know, I guess it was I had the first really good one. I went through a few iterations of bad ones that I didn't like, and I finally got a good one. I think it was a 5'9". It was an epoxy. And I was up in the Outer Banks on just one of those dreamy days. It was one of those days that we were up there for the weekend. Sunday was huge and amazing. Everybody was around catching awesome waves. And we stayed for Monday. Everyone was gone. And it was one of those background swell days. So when the waves weren't breaking, it was just perfect calm. But they were still, head high or overhead sets that would come in. They come in, just break so perfect. And I had that board, and that's when I first got it in, instead of just like little chest high rippy waves, kind of some barrels. And it's like, man, this board does it for barrels. And I think I broke that one going up to Outer Banks another time, and I made that 5'10", the Zebra.
Yeah.
And so I kind of tuned it in a little bit more for barrels when I made it a little bit longer. And that board went all over with me here. I traveled all over with it. And just a short little board, 5'10", but it's wider, especially up front, and thicker under the chest. And it still has kind of a wide tail to get over flat spots, but not so wide that it skips out. It's just kind of trying to make a really balanced design. And but yeah, so yours is bigger, 6'1". I'm riding a 6'3" now. And the 6'3" is nice. I made one for my friend Cody. I thought it was way too big for me, but when I rode it, I was like, man, I can catch anything
Yeah.
on this board. and I can still kind of turn it. So
Yeah. It's heavy.
yeah,
Is that mostly the glassing?
yeah,
But I didn't know I would like it, but I feel
yeah.
like there's something there.
For bigger, if the wave's got any bump or wind, yeah, the weight can help you.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a little bit smaller, not as much power, and you're trying to, really rip, then the weight might hold you back a little bit.
Yeah. I really just take it out when it's thumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Are you gonna make anything this year that you're excited about?
Yeah, I just drew up a 510 4-fin for myself, EPS stringerless. I was gonna get some carbon fiber to do like a carbon fiber lamination with it. I haven't had like a little rippy quad fin in a while, and that was kind of all I rode for a while. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited to make a new one of those.
One thing last time you were on the podcast that we didn't really talk about is you're not just a surfboard shaper.
Well, no surfboard shaper is.
I know, but I feel like people, I guess, they maybe a random person was like, "Oh, that's what he does." But
Everyone thinks you just shape.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's
I fooled them all.
Yeah.
But you really don't even shape. I don't even know if you qualified. No, I'm just kidding. But you don't make that many boards
No.
because you're a busy guy surfing 100 days. No, but
Every weekend, baby.
yeah, every week. But what do you do for work?
I work at Boeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I work for their R&D department, and so I'm in there making prototypes, aerospace parts, prototypes, carbon fiber, doing a lot of tinkering with machines. I'm in the machine shop a lot. Just, making and modifying components to form carbon fiber.
Wow. Is that some, I guess, yeah, if you kind of have a more hands-on job.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's something that you could still be really excited about.
Yeah, it's fun. It's, for an engineer, it's kind of like a job where I really get to play, because we're working on designs that Boeing may use in the future, new processes or new parts or new ways of doing things, typically aimed at, making a more producible item, making it more efficient. A lot of times, putting in automation where something's done by hand now. And I did work when I first started with Boeing. I did work on the 787 airplane that they build here out at the airport, and that was a lot more intense and stressful. As all your work that you're doing, you're making an actual product that's flying. Everything has to be perfect. The R&D is a lot more relaxed, because it's more conceptual designs and prototypes. And could this work? So what you're building isn't typically being looked at by the FAA and have to be certified for the flying public. So it's more of a fun space.
Have y'all had a success yet? Like a product that you've designed that gone to market, or?
A lot of the time horizons are pretty long on the stuff that we're working on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How much carbon fiber is it mostly in the wings?
Yeah, and in the fuselage. So the 787 that we build here, the whole fuselage is carbon fiber.
Oh, wow.
And that's what I work on a lot, is the fuselage skin, and then they have stringers that run through the skin that stiffen the skin. It's similar to, you guys talked to Wilds the other day. He's probably got some stringer shapes in his boats to stiffen up that whole skin.
Yeah.
And it's similar to that. Or, you guys have a John boat out there. It's like little hat shapes in the bottom that run the length of the boat to stiffen that thin aluminum skin. It's all very similar geometry.
I love how you have to relate to us on John boat.
Well, that's when I saw it in the front yard, so I know you'd be familiar with with the application. And almost everyone around here has that. I actually explain the structure of the airplane like that to a lot of people. No, it makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Yeah, we did check out Drake Boats, and it was pretty wild. Have you talked to him about what he's making?
Not in a while, but I always really enjoy talking to Wiles. He's a really smart guy, really interesting guy, really unique guy. Just a gem of a human. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime I get to great surfer too, very understated, but
Yeah.
really
Charges.
good surfer.
Charges.
Yeah, I love any chance I get to. He's kind of, you don't see him too often, so every time
Yeah.
I get to see him in the lineup or have a chat with him about what he's working on, we always have a good time talking to each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah. He said he's never shaped a surfboard.
Yeah. Well, I've
I
never
feel-
built a boat.
Yeah.
It's probably been on his mind for a long time. I've had plans of boats that I've wanted to build for a long time, but never done it. So
I'm thinking a major collaboration there.
the surfboard boat,
Yeah. To chase waves. That would be really
the Drake
fun.
surfboard,
Yeah.
the Grasshopper boat,
Yeah.
Grasshopper skiff.
Drake Hopper.
Drake Hopper. There you go.
That sounds fun.
McKevlin's Surf Shop. Quality surf since 1965. Come by the shop to see a piece of East Coast surf history, as well as a vast array of new brands, new designs, and new and used surfboards. They just released the latest beach project merch, including t-shirts, long sleeve tees, hats, and a nice fleece sweater and hoodie. McKevlin's donates 20% of these sales from the Beach Project to empower local nonprofit organizations who invest in helping keep the beaches and waterways clean, to fight for preserving our beautiful ecosystems. Really rad designs created by artist Chris Kemp, so you can look good while doing good. McKevlin's has been a longtime supporter of us, our films, and now with the podcast. Visit McKevlins.com or visit them at 8th Center Street, Folly Beach, where wax is always $1.
I thought maybe with the 100 days, we might talk about some of the best days of the last year.
Oh,
I don't know,
yeah.
I could ask you guys that. What was your? I mean, you had a month in Puerto Rico. I imagine your best session, or you could do biggest day, best day, most memorable day, most unique wave you surfed. Those are always fun.
Yeah. Ellison?
Let's see.
I
I'm trying to
was-
run through all my trips.
Yeah, we were in Puerto Rico for 30 days. It started before the year in December, and I was tracking. And so I got up to like 28 and I did the same thing. I cut I think it was the bottom of my foot.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, it
Did you do 28 in a row?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
I will say that, sorry to cut you off,
Yeah.
but one thing I did find is surfing every day is awesome.
Yeah.
Like
well, in the right place.
in the right place, but it's like even if it was like a 30-minute session, it was just like felt good to be able to just
I
jump
feel
out
like
there.
after on the fourth day, your body turns.
Yeah.
It's like the first day you're stoked. The second day you're tired, but still stoked. The third day you're rashy and you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then the fourth day you wake up thinking, I was toast after 3 days. I'm not gonna be able to surf today. And you wake up and you're like, oh, my body is ready. It wants to surf. All right, let's surf.
Yeah.
And you go out there and you can just paddle all day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And your rashes that were there on the third day, somehow kind of like melt. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Did you find the same thing?
Yeah.
What is it for you guys?
Yeah. The one thing about Puerto Rico for us, because we were there so long, I think was it wasn't like a surf trip where it was
Yeah.
like go, go, go. It was just kind
Yeah.
of like built into the schedule.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, because I just did that last week.
Yeah.
Where it was like I was hurting on day 3 and then I was like fine.
Yeah. Trying to think biggest best waves.
My biggest day was definitely in Puerto Rico last spring.
Oh.
Wilderness.
Oh, wow.
We surfed Rincon in the morning and it was gorgeous, like, pretty good size, offshore, beautiful. And then the winds did something weird. We were trying to find waves around Aguada and it wasn't happening. And we were staying up in Aguadilla, up there by the airport. And we said, let's just go look at wilderness. It was the evening, the sun was about to go down. We pull up and it is smoking. It looked like, one of those days when it looks like Sunset Beach in Hawaii out there, just 10 foot plus. It was a little wild still, but cleaning up. And there was like half a dozen guys out and they were getting after it. And, the sun setting, you know how beautiful the sun sets there. I paddled out on that 6'3", and that was I hadn't surfed waves that big in a while. So I had the butterflies, but got into a few solid ones right as the sun was going down. That was for sure Yeah, the biggest waves I caught throughout
Nice.
the year, and one of the most memorable sessions.
We were in Nicaragua, Colorado's. That was
That's
probably
probably the best day.
yeah, the best day of waves.
Yeah,
But we saw the worst waves in Nicaragua.
and the best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
saw
did.
it all. We truly saw it
Yeah,
all.
we got there. It was fun. It went completely on shore. Flooded. A hurricane that then came and hit Charleston. We were in Nicaragua for, but then we changed our flights to stay because then a really good swell came.
Yeah.
And that's when I fell in love with the tube shooter.
Yeah,
Zebra.
okay.
Yeah.
Just had a day of perfect overhead wedges, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it was crowded, but
I did see it. You sent me a video of like one really good one. It just
Yeah.
looked so crispy.
and then I stayed another day and got some really good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was probably the best. Hurricane season was kind of weird. We had to work a bunch.
Yeah.
So then we kind of got our waves like late hurricane season.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is going to be a sore subject for you, but that week we missed, I think was fun. But I think the best day is when you got hurt just a little while ago.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
that was the
so
best
we
day.
got that
Hey,
day.
I got 4 waves.
You got your 4, yeah.
That day counted.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Barely.
Barely.
Yeah.
But then I saw you the next week, busted lip, and you had gone out though.
Yeah.
You were only out for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I took like a few days off. I was still surfing. I still had stitches. I caught a few sessions with stitches, and it's fine.
Day before Thanksgiving was super fun here. Almost like that day better.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people were saying that, but no, the previous day was way better.
Yeah.
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 Quality waves for sure.
My best day was that week here, or my most memorable day or session, I think, was at Hurricane Lee Swell. I took the 10-foot board out paddled it out like way out in one of those inlets, and I just absolutely love those days when you can go out there and there's groundswell and it's glassy. A couple other friends paddled out with me, and it's just really special out there. I wish we had more calm days with groundswell because we have so many neat waves, but it just one day a year, sometimes a couple days a year, sometimes no days a year to get those kind of waves.
Yeah. Other notable sessions, probably Ponce.
Was that that was this year. That was
Yeah.
that was
Saw
incredible.
that on a really good day.
Well, the craziest waves were probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Those were some crazy waves.
That was the crazy. Remember when you're like, look that way, and it looked like it looked like we were watching the Weather Channel.
Yeah. Where's
then-
Jim Cantori?
Yeah, that was an insane day.
The winter hurricane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, did we have record buoy heights?
I think so. I can't remember.
I heard in New Jersey had record buoy heights, and everybody's still
the
talking
buoy.
about those waves.
Yeah, that was crazy looking.
Should we pull up those waves? I kind of wanted to watch. We could react to some good waves.
Oh, do you guys have some footage from that day?
Yeah, I have footage from that day. Yeah. But,
Do you?
not really.
Just
not
some
like
waves,
much
yeah.
Surfing. Yeah.
I have some footage right here of you guys out when I was getting ready to paddle out. Absolute smokers.
Yeah.
Some dragons coming in.
Yeah. The New Jersey.
I will say the Outer Banks was really good the week before and after we were there for a week. That was, I could feel the energy, but I didn't see it for myself.
Yeah.
I've definitely done that. We had a pretty fun week up there. It was kind of a down week, but kind of sneaky pumping week.
That's kind of fun.
Those are the best because nobody's around because it's not a forecasted awesome day, and it's not the day you're hoping to get, but it can sometimes be better because there's waves, nobody's around.
Yeah, we had
It wasn't life threatening like it feels like
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah.
No.
That guy got the best, the wave that had me going the most.
Yeah, I pretty much just want to see.
Was
Rob.
it closeout? Like, yeah.
The closeout one where he pulls in and it's
like
spits at him
Yeah.
and
Triple overhead. Yeah.
he's going left and the left spits, but he's going into a right and the right spits at him.
Yeah, one thing I love packing a closeout, but this
just
might be the definition of packing
Oh, yeah.
a monster.
But it's
close.
also like, how are you comfortable in that cold of water?
Well, they're,
I know, I get
there
it.
weren't. I don't think there were kids from South Carolina up there
Yeah,
or Florida. Those were Jersey guys.
right.
I don't know
They're used to it.
where his is in this.
Brian, what time is it?
5:56.
Time check. Yeah, that was the one that.
That one went.
Did that guy get hurt?
No.
I saw where some of those guys were getting hurt. This guy actually made one, right?
Yeah.
Not that one.
Not that one.
So we surfed the same swell.
I swear I saw a wave
It
that
Here
looked
we
like
go.
that.
It looked like that.
Wait, is this it?
Yeah.
That's the
one.
He rode
I
straight
never-
into that.
So
That kid's from North Carolina.
Well, there you
Owen
go.
Moss,
yeah.
but he's from North Carolina.
Carolina
let's
boy
just-
getting it up
I
there.
think that's him.
So I mean, that's a heavy wave.
Yeah.
I saw something like
he knew pretty
Well,
close.
I didn't see something like that, but it felt like that.
He knew pretty soon that the thing was a closeout.
Yeah, he's straight soul arching it.
I
Covered head
I
to
saw
toe
you
in
soul
rubber.
arching a
What?
couple.
Oh, whatever.
And then
No, I feel like this guy's Wilds for our session. Wilds was
Yeah.
taking off on waves like that.
yeah, Wild's charges. That was cool to
I wish
see.
I would have stayed like that first little bit.
Yeah, when
Um,
we first paddled out, I was saying I hadn't surfed waves that big in a while. It was giving me some butterflies out there. Not so much for the height, but just how
thick it was.
it was just ledging.
Yeah, and I just needed to. I was like, my wax does not feel
You needed
appropriate
you
for
needed
these
the-
drops.
You need
Yeah.
the foo.
I had some winter foo is not good, and I just needed a second, and we paddled out, and it was thumping
Yeah.
and going really fast. It was really hard offshore too.
You were pulling into some ways. I told Richard, I was like, I'm gonna have to raise your children. Like I thought you were trying to kill yourself.
I did. I pulled into one when you were on the beach. That I was.
Yeah.
But it was cool to get inside of some.
Yeah,
Some big tubes.
you and Wilds were going kamikaze. Me and Ellison were like taking the little bit safer approach.
Yeah.
But you got spit out of one pretty soon.
Yeah, I kind of paddled out after you guys. You guys were trying to find it. I got one right off the bat. You guys
Yeah.
were probably spewing at me. He was like, paddles out late, comes and gets the first good one. That was about the only one that I got. But, on those kind of days,
Oh, that's kind
a
of
lot of times you're only looking for one.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then by the evening, bunch of tubes. That was so fun.
Have you guys ever surfed up there?
I've surfed in Jersey, but not
Not like that.
no.
We used to go up there when I was a kid. My mom has family up in New Jersey, and when her mother was still alive, we'd have they get like beach houses for the family. And one of my first really big days as a young kid was up there. It was one of these systems that came through, and we would go to Avalon, I think is the town. No one was out surfing. The waves were overhead, A-frame, just gorgeous waves. I remember going out there being scared. Nobody was out there. I came in, I've got like some wetsuit, some stiff wetsuit. It's probably still the 80s. I told my mom, the waves are kind of big and scary out there. I think I'm done. And she had my sister, and my sister was young, and so she had to stay on the beach with my sister. She says, if I have to stay here on the beach, one of us is surfing. You got to get back out there.
That's cool.
There's some pictures somewhere, it's the little wine and click
Yeah,
camera, some wave way out there. There's a little speck. I remember showing my
awesome.
friends, that's me on that huge wave.
That's awesome. No, but yeah, Rob Kelly after that closeout is now officially my hero
Yeah.
because he also went a whole winter without surfing in a wetsuit.
Yeah.
I tried to follow suit way more south than he
You
was.
did it.
And so now he's an official hero.
But you cheated because you spent half the winter in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
He was going out there in the snow. He'd come in with his skin all pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he's a legend for sure.
I'm trying to think of all my days still. I was like trying to contemplate that. That's what I think I'll do that this year. I'm going to try to log it better
Yeah.
so I can remember. I have
What will your goal be?
150.
150. Yeah, that's
Just
good.
because I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right here.
Yeah. I feel like I could get that. I've got
What are you at?
I'm at 0.
Oh yeah.
Same.
Or actually, I surfed.
Dang. Yeah. You.
No, I'm
didn't.
0.
It looked like you could have gotten a longboard wave yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have.
Mhm.
Today looked the dreamiest ever for a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Looks like this weekend, maybe.
Yeah. I
Little
don't.
South suck up.
I'm like retired till. No, I'm just kidding. I've like no desire to put on a wetsuit unless it's like a longer wave.
Yeah.
How,
You
how are
know?
you gonna get a 150?
I'm just gonna, you catch it up later. You get it all later.
He's
Yeah.
taking a loan.
Yeah.
He'll pay
Yeah.
it back.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's funny. What did you think about the Cam Richards premiere that we helped put on?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So fun.
The movie was good, actually good,
So good.
Yeah.
So fun. I mean, those kind of things aren't happening a lot, and it just happened. And it blew up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, look, we got a podcast with Cam. Oh, you got Cam. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, he's premiering his movie in a week and a
It
half
was a
or
week.
something.
A week.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
you guys were stressing. You didn't think enough people were going to show up.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't stress.
Yeah. It just felt like, a week out, I was just like, I was texting people by hand, just like individuals,
Yeah.
but a lot of people showed up. That was a lot of fun though.
It was amazing. It was so fun.
And I'm glad Cam had the world premiere of his movie in Charleston.
Yeah.
That's
You
pretty
guys
epic.
strong armed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the podcast and we'll do it here.
That was pretty epic. Did you learn anything that you didn't know? Maybe from his podcast?
Oh,
Do you know his
shoulda asked
dad?
me. I've met his dad. We're not friends or anything.
Yeah.
But because the guy that does a lot of fiberglass work for my surfboards, he came up like doing fiberglass work with Kelly. And so when I was younger, they were still working together. So when I would go up there, Kelly would be around the factory. And so I've met Kelly a handful of times.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember me or not,
Yeah.
because we haven't crossed paths, since I was probably younger.
Yeah.
I thought I saw Kelly last week. And I just I thought I saw him, and then I looked closer, and the guy had a helmet and a GoPro on his helmet, and then he was on a boogie board.
What a classic guy, though. Everything you see of him, you're just like, this guy's the best.
Yeah.
We want to see more.
Yeah. We need to have him on the podcast.
Yeah, get him.
Yeah. Yeah, we should do that.
Sweet. As far as this goes, I like this way better. This feels good. The mics, 3
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I've been waiting for you guys to come out with just you two or whoever, just kind of talking shop.
Yeah, we're trying to it took a while to pull the trigger on this just to see if we're gonna keep doing it. And then maybe we have a variety show and you're on it every time.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
I love hanging with you guys and talking, telling stories.
Yeah.
When we were talking about doing it again, I wrote out, a whole list of stories I could tell. I don't think I brought it with me.
Oh dang. You have your top one?
Top one? No, we'd have to go like, what do you want to hear from?
Yeah.
What's your favorite what's your favorite brand?
Brand?
Yeah, like boardies that you like are like
I don't know. I'm not much of a brand guy.
You're not
I'm gonna
like
have to go with my wetsuits.
Yeah.
I've got some rip curls that I really like, and I
Mhm.
have a Neat Essentials wetsuit that I've been wearing
Oh yeah.
the past 2 winters that I really like.
I was gonna ask
Yeah.
about those. Did you watch his film?
I had one that wasn't so good, and then I had the one that I got last time was money.
Is it a 4.3?
4.3 hooded. It's fuzzy from the chest down.
And was it
And
cheap?
I mean, their suits are inexpensive.
Right.
It was. I wouldn't say cheap.
Yeah, but they're like no logos, no
It's
fluff,
like
just
$300 instead of whatever $600.
Yeah.
But I don't think their $300 suits are equivalent to Rip Curl's $600 suits.
Okay, that makes sense.
Their $300 suits are probably better than Rip Curl's $300 suits, but they're
Yeah.
I mean, you get what you pay for. But that suit is the perfect suit for winter here. I was wearing a 5 mil for a while and getting too hot and not being able to move. And then for me, just a normal 4.3, I get cold. But that one, the the 4.3 with the fuzzy in the hood. And for whatever reason, I typically don't get too hot in it, even when it's not that cold. But when it gets as cold as it gets here, I'm still warm. So that one's been legit. I really like that one.
Yeah.
I recommended someone to get that the other day. They saw me out surfing. Like, I need a new wetsuit. Like, this is the one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Rutledge wears a 5.4 in October.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have much meat on his bones.
Did you watch Torrin's new film?
I feel like I've watched all his stuff. It's usually pretty long, and I lose interest at some point. I did the sailboat stuff. I mean, that's kind of every surfer's pipe dream.
Yeah.
Go sail around and catch those waves. That one session at that right-hander. Actually, you know what? My favorite wave on that, it was the weirdest little wave. Do you guys remember it? It's the wedge.
Yeah.
It didn't even look like a surf spot.
Yeah.
But it was the coolest footage right from the side. And he was just backdooring those peaks by himself.
Yeah.
That looked like the coolest thing ever.
But
it also looked like for a normal surfer, you would probably fall on some of those, and it looked like you would be just slathered on the reef if you fell right there.
I appreciate they showed him not make like 2 barrels. I was like, okay, he's human.
Yeah.
But
And he like pulled back on one. They just deep one.
I'm trying to think. I think
that looks sick.
I think the one he went to Morocco was the stuff that I like the best. His Morocco.
Yeah.
Brian and I are into Morocco right now.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I want to go. Spencer
Well,
keeps trying to get me to go to Portugal to Super Tubos in the winter.
Yeah.
But I think I'd rather go.
I'll go to Morocco with you.
I'll go to Morocco.
Here we go. We just made the winter plans.
Like October
Perfect.
or November. Or do you
Let's
want to
go
go
in February?
You want to go in February? Oh, you want to go soon?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Get some days in.
Yeah, I need to log some days.
That would be awesome. Bucket list places that you haven't been to. Morocco is up there.
Morocco is up there, but I have the higher bucket list, and it's not anything interesting because I think everyone else except me has been there to Pavones. I still have not been.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I swear it's got to be my dream wave.
Yeah.
Just
I've
the
got-
longest twin fin
There's
wave
some-
ever.
Yeah, there's some yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a group of people that would love to go with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to go there.
We were trying to go together, was it last spring? And I feel like we were
We were
this
pretty
close,
I
Yeah.
was looking at tickets.
but we didn't
What
somehow.
happened?
I don't know what
They get
happened.
small or the
No, it turned out to be like the biggest swell of the season,
Oh.
which was maybe good we didn't go. You probably don't want the biggest swell. You
Right.
probably want a medium one.
because when that place gets crowded, it's like there's a crowd,
Yeah.
but you can still get waves. There's also it's like
You literally have to go there
Yeah.
this year.
Other bucket is Europe. I've never been to Europe, so anywhere.
I just
France,
did
Spain,
yeah.
Portugal.
Europe, I just did
Morocco. I guess Morocco's Africa, but still that
Mm.
whole zone.
it's like I just did Portugal and it's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's what everybody's been saying. I guess
Yeah.
you shouldn't talk about it though.
Right.
There's plenty of YouTube videos
Yeah.
blowing it up. But Portugal, you said it's the
Yeah,
spot?
Portugal's cool. It's like it's just this
It wasn't that hard to travel to.
no, it's
either,
really
right?
easy and I felt like it was pretty inexpensive there.
Yeah.
And there's so much culture like so it's like I don't know, it's beautiful and the waves are really good and there's like a variety of waves and a lot of friends were reaching out to me when I was there and I like didn't even come close to scratching the surface.
Yeah.
So I think it's like probably way better than I even think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mexico is my
Yeah.
number one priority. So Morocco would be kind of like,
You're number 2.
but
Those
yeah,
Selena
the-
Cruz.
yeah,
Have
the-
you been down there before?
no, I want to go to the points
I haven't
really
been there
bad.
either. I've been a
But
couple
maybe,
other places in Mexico.
but if you line up in Morocco, maybe I'll do that. I mean,
that's the European Mexico.
yeah, I mean, maybe it would be better.
Do both.
Yeah, I can't.
Morocco's winter, Mexico's summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if any advertisers out there want to
Yes, yeah.
help us go. Sweet. Well, I think that's perfect. Awesome. We'll have you on again if
Yeah.
you'll come and
Yeah, we could do a whole origin story if you want to, or
yeah,
um
bring that list of stories.
list of stories. Yeah. I have a lot more stories from earlier in my life when I was, traveling around,
Yeah.
surfing a lot.
Cause I mean, they just seem like there's stories in your head, but for someone driving down the road listening
Yep.
to it, it's like
Yep.
the funnest thing ever when
It'd be fun. It'd be fun to talk about story. I've got some good kind of travel stories around locally, like finding just kind of novelty waves, some cool stories, and then just stories up and down the East Coast swells where you go and you wind up, meeting everyone somewhere, or
yeah.
either down to Florida for those South Florida swells, or up to Hatteras for those, or even the ones all the way up to the Northeast.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, awesome. We'll bring those next time, and sweet. We'll see how many days Ellison gets this year.
I think he's got it.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you. I like this.
96 way double come